Welcome back. It's 4:05, our final interview for the afternoon, and we're going to be talking about something that should be impacting, or we all in our own little community should be getting involved in, so that we end up being smart communities and not smart spectators. We're going to talk with Najen Naidoo. He is the CEO of the Smart Communities Foundation. And if you're wondering what is this all about, well, take a very careful listen and see how this can and will make a difference in your life if you become an active citizen. Najen Naidoo, a very good afternoon to you. Welcome to the program. Finally, we get to talk.
Afternoon, Julie, and thank you so much for having me.
Okay, I can't hear you. I think there's a bit of a problem. Let's see if we can get the sound fixed on our side.
Sure.
All right, there you go. I can hear you now, loud and clear.
Hi, Julie. Afternoon.
Good afternoon to you too. Welcome. And let me just give a bit of a snippet to our viewers. We are talking to Najen Naidoo, and this discussion is about how communities can get involved, and it's also centered around non-profit organizations driving this change, because it is a change that we're seeing happening, which we need to be a part of. Just explain to us, what are we talking about here, and how each and every one of us can and must become involved?
Sure. Thank you for the question. So, Julie, the idea behind smart communities came around probably 10, 15 years ago, around looking at active citizenry, where citizenry is a responsibility and not a right. So we hold ourselves responsible for the environment that we want to build in our communities. During the pandemic, we noticed that there was a huge rise of community leaders, where government had to take care of the national crisis. Municipalities were not allowed to conduct their normal services. So it was very much left up to communities to take care of themselves. And during that time, there were a lot of community leaders that started rising up and taking care of the safety of their communities, the welfare of the people around them, and the welfare of the homeless and less fortunate in their communities as well. So the idea behind smart communities is how to get community leaders and normal citizens more active around creating a community that they want to live in. The idea there is making sure that you're an active citizen around reporting crime, service delivery, making sure that you have an easy way to report any services that you think should be delivered or needs to be delivered in the community, and then also taking responsibility for creating jobs within the community. So whether it is providing a hand up as opposed to a hand out to the local homeless person or someone that's unemployed, building a relationship with them, because at the end of the day, they're actually part of our community, even though they might not look the same as us.
So, Najen, we do know that the communities that we live in, or perhaps society at large, there's an issue around trust. Trust in institutions is declining. We're also having high rates of crime in our areas. That too kind of almost makes people feel very daunted by taking on a task like this. I'd love to make a change in my community, but there are many, many buts there. Will I be accepted? Will I get participation? Will people feel I'm being too intrusive? And what if and when I go out into my community to work amongst my people, will I be accepted? Et cetera, et cetera. How do you respond to all of that?
Yeah, very interesting question. And I'll provide you with some background into how I got involved in this as well. So just to start with current community leaders, because that's the actual heroes in our communities and in South Africa at this point in time. Like I said, during the pandemic, a lot of community leaders or individuals that don't even see themselves as community leaders stood up, took responsibility, not just for their own families, but for their street or their community at large. And these are the heroes that we really want to celebrate, because they've started this journey of taking that risk, putting their hand up and said, let me do something for my community. So to a very large degree, they've already been down this path of being accepted by their community, being through the trials and tribulations of not being accepted or not being trusted at first. So they have a very intimate understanding about what we're trying to do. So I was one of those community leaders. I started down this journey about 20 years ago, getting involved in keeping my own neighborhood a little bit more secure. Then meeting my business partner probably about 10 years ago, and got involved in cleaning our community, and then including the unemployed and homeless people that we got to know on the streets of our community, and becoming friends with them and understanding their background, their plight, and trying to make their lives a little bit easier. So we believe that a lot of community leaders around South Africa have already done this. And these are the community leaders that we're looking to work with. Now, how we work with these community leaders at Smart Communities, we understand by going through this journey ourselves, it's a very, very lonely journey. So there's not a lot of people that are willing to put their hands up and get exposed in this way or give time. And it also is quite an intensive journey as well, because you're now taking responsibility for your community. You're taking responsibility to create employment. And then there's a whole bunch of legal and financial responsibilities that come with it as well. Making sure your organization is correctly registered, that it's trusted by the community, raising enough finances in order to be able to keep people employed and to keep your organization going. So there's a lot of hurdles in place, and it's lonely. So at Smart Communities, our main mission is to work with these community leaders that have already started making an amazing impact in their communities and in our country, and see how we can support them with the not so great stuff, like making sure there's legal compliance, helping to make sure that they can bring in enough money in order to sustain and scale their operations in their community.
That sounds very daunting, Najen. As you were speaking, I was kind of thinking, gee, this sounds amazing. We could get a couple of people on board and we can get things moving in our communities. As you were speaking, I was thinking two things. I was thinking potholes, and I was also thinking, the waste removal guys that come around once a week to your areas, how we can improve their lot in life. But then you also mentioned finances. So are you saying these leaders that perhaps, would approach you and say, this is what this is my plan for my community. Do they need to come with funding? Because, I think that would be a barrier to entry, so to speak. How do you get people started? And if we do know, perhaps if there is a slight incentive, maybe, you'd get more people coming on board. Am I on the right track regarding Smart Communities?
So Smart Communities in itself doesn't provide funding to communities. What we try to do is to make sure everything is hyper-local. So we try to get the local community leader to scale the impact that they're having in their community, but also to help them along the journey of raising awareness in their community and to raise funding from the local businesses as well as the local residents in their community. Because at the end of the day, having someone coming in from the outside into a community, there is that trust factor. Who are you? Can we trust you? Why should we work with you? Hence why we like working with community leaders that have already started on that journey, but would really like to make their impact more sustainable and to scale their impact in their community as well. Because we know the problems in South Africa are overwhelming. So there's no shortage of work to be done. So where we really come to the party is we bring a blueprint as well as our technology platform and our legal registration in South Africa. We are a registered nonprofit with Section 18A certification. And we know how to work with SARS and to work with the communities to make sure that the communities can work with a trusted partner, but also get bang for their buck. Because everybody knows we all pay our taxes, I hope so. We all pay our rates, and we expect the municipality to deliver a service. But unfortunately, the municipality and the government are also under a lot of pressure. South Africa is a complex country to operate in and to deliver services in as well, despite any other issues that we may be facing. So how do we get communities to be more responsible for themselves, to make sure that any money they spend in the community can be seen, used in the community, creating jobs for the unemployed, repairing potholes, taking care of illegal dumping, improving the security in the community as well. So it really goes back to that old adage of charity starts at home. So if I donate
Absolutely.
money to a local charity, I should see the impact on my doorstep. And that's really
Absolutely.
what we're trying to push.
Okay, we will unpack a little more right after the ad break. Please don't go away. Let's go for that break and then we'll talk some more right after.
You are listening to Salam Media live from our headquarters in South Africa. This is Salam Media, keeping you company this Ramadan.
The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "Use the black seed, for indeed it is a cure for every disease except death." This Ramadan, honor that guidance. Tip Black Seed supports your blood sugar during fasting, boosts immunity, sustains your energy from suhoor to iftar. Available at leading pharmacies. Tip Black Seed, your golden drop every day.
Shimmer, sparkle, captivate. Nothing less than a masterpiece. Droplets of gold inspires precious design. Platinum bursts with intricate freshness. And every pure diamond becomes more than just a girl's best friend. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, where timeless dreams become a reality. Come to us. We tailor-make designer gold, platinum, and diamond jewelry. Trade in or remodel your old gold. Clad yourself with classy name-branded watches. We offer insurance valuation and free zakat calculation. Visit us at 534 Ridge Road, Overport, or call 031 208 9142. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, manufacturers of fine gold and diamond jewelry.
Many of us take an iftar meal for granted, but not everyone is as fortunate. This Ramadan, the Islamic Dawah movement will provide meals to thousands of Muslims from disadvantaged areas, as it has been doing for over 20 years, but they need your help. A donation of 30 Rand provides an iftar meal for a fasting person. Become an IDM sponsor and earn Sadaqah Jariyah. Zakat, Fitra, Kafara, and Fidya contributions are all welcome. Call IDM on 031 304 6883 or visit idmsa.org to donate. IDM, taking Islam to as many hearts and homes as possible.
With so many investment options today, it's only natural that you might feel a little confused which route to take. Should I buy shares or should I invest in gold bullion? Randery Jewelers now brings you the Zahab coin, an alternative to the Kruger Rand. The Zahab coin, a solid wealth protector in its purest form of 24-karat gold, is the safest way to protect your wealth. So don't just sit there and watch your paper money depreciate. Change to gold. Call Randery Jewelers now at 031 202 4701 or visit www.rjcoin.co.za. Situated at 151 Essenwood Road, Musgrave, Durban. Randery Jewelers, the family name you can trust.
This Ramadan, give the gift of clean water with African Muslims Agency. With every water well or borehole you donate, your drop becomes a river, reconnecting communities to nourishment, education, dignity, and empowerment. Sponsor a water well for 16,500 Rand in Africa or a borehole for 65,000 Rand in Afghanistan or Africa. Quench the thirst, reconnect the soul with Africa Muslims Agency.
Elite Basmati, available throughout the Middle East, and now for the very first time exclusive to South Africa. Brought to you by Murchison Spice, Pietermaritzburg's most famous specialty store. Elite Basmati, available in aromatic white and golden cellar, is packaged in a world-class facility in India and is filled with wholesome goodness for your well-being. Elite Basmati rice by Murchison Spice. For trade inquiries, contact Mohammed on 033 387 2121. Murchison Spice.
You are listening to Salam Media live from our headquarters in South Africa. This is Salam Media, keeping you company this Ramadan.
Welcome back. We are talking with Najen Naidoo. He is the CEO of Smart Communities Foundation. It's all about connecting with your neighbors. It's all about making a difference in the community that you live in. And you can do it. It really does require a bit of commitment, a bit of planning. But then, of course, you need the support of someone like the CEO of Smart Communities Foundation. And that, of course, is Najen Naidoo. So, Najen, what skills do people who want to get involved, who want to start this initiative in their area, what would they need to be effective change makers just beyond their passion and good intentions?
So, Julie, what we're looking for are actual community leaders that have already started making an impact in their community. So, probably someone that has been operating for at least 1 year, that has taken the initiative to either clean up their community or put some initiatives in place to help the local unemployed and homeless people. And we're talking beyond feeding schemes. It's building relationships with them, trying to find them some kind of employment in the community, maybe actually working with them to keep the community clean. And also individuals working with their local security companies, CPF or SAPS, that are actively working to keep their communities safer.
What about someone watching this interview today and thinking that I have a little bit of spare time, I could start giving back, putting back into my community, but I have no experience, no past experience, and I'm going to have to start building up a network. And I think the one thing that might be daunting for them, definitely I'm one of those people. As far as raising funds is concerned, I think that's a very big put off for me. I hate going around asking, fundraising, because it's a huge responsibility. You've got to definitely see that you get the funds. Well, firstly, it's difficult to get the funds. You've got to sell a very good concept to people for them to part with their very hard-earned money. But then, of course, you've got to be responsible and accountable enough to make sure that they are deliverables. So I'm new. I'm the new the new kid on the block. What do I come to you with? I have no past experience at all, but I want to make a difference.
So in the cases of someone trying to get newly involved, what we'd encourage them to do is to visit our website at smart-communities.org. We have a few articles and information about getting started and what we do. And also to join our social media pages, where we're always posting articles about other community leaders and communities that we work in and how they got started. So we really want to work with people that can get over the first hurdle, but they're also welcome to reach out to us via social media as well and ask us questions and engage with us. We also host a Smart Changemakers meeting once a month, where we bring community leaders together and even people that are new that want to come and learn and hear about stories about A, what we do, B, what other smart community leaders are doing in their communities with us, and getting people to share those stories to understand how to get started. So we're not the experts by any means on this. We've had some experience, we've tried it in communities that we've worked in, but we want other community leaders to connect with each other and share their stories as well. And we find by creating this network, you actually get ideas, you get the support that you need, and possibly build up the courage to take the first step.
So what about the responsibility of government, local government, municipalities? I mentioned as an example, potholes. It is their responsibility, or perhaps even the issue around waste collection, which doesn't happen on a regular basis. And then you have the issue around waste being dumped on empty ground. So people would often complain and say, I pay my rates and taxes. Why do I still need to be digging in my pocket to perhaps, get you started to be some sort of a leader in our community to do what government or local government is meant to be doing in any event?
Yeah, so always a very hot topic to be discussing on this one here. Yeah, we all do pay our rates and taxes, and we have an expectation of services that we need. But like I mentioned earlier, we live in complex times. We live in a complex country with a diversity of people and backgrounds and also income levels. So those of us who can afford to put the measures in place, we need to take responsibility for our own communities. Unfortunately, it's been over 30 years. We've seen degradation in certain communities. We've seen some communities maintain some level of livability. But to a large degree, we don't get the services that we think we are actually owed. So no matter how much we demand, it's not going to change, right? Government is in a very financially difficult position. So the idea behind smart communities is, how do you make sure that certain services are delivered on your doorstep? And that's through working with community leaders or community-based organizations. Touching on the ideas of potholes versus illegal dumping, potholes is always a very, very tricky one because that actually is municipal or government infrastructure. Is some legal leeway where we are allowed to repair potholes, but to a very large degree, we have to rely on the municipality to provide the right service. There are also some other private companies and nonprofits as well that are doing these services. So how do we get in touch with them? And this is where our platform, Smart Communities, comes in. It allows our residents to report issues on the platform and to have those issues logged with the relevant municipality as well. What this gives our residents and community-based organization is an actual audit trail of when the issue was lodged, how many days it's been open, where the issue is, and when it was actually reported to the municipality. So this helps our local residents with the local politicians or ward councillors, ratepayers associations, to all work together on the same truth of when the issue was first reported on the system and to the municipality. So then there comes the follow-up that happens with the municipality to hold them accountable, to say, look, these issues have been reported by one person, 50 people, 200 people. It's been open for 2 weeks. It's causing a lot of accidents. When are you guys actually going to come to the table on this here? So we remove that element of gaslighting. Then visiting the problem with illegal dumping. So illegal dumping is very much a community issue. All right. First of all, making sure that the community understands that we're responsible together for the community. So dumping it on an empty plot or on a street corner is going to attract flies and rats, and it's actually a health hazard. It's also going to detract from the beauty of the community as well. So it's about raising that awareness in the community, but also working with the local service providers. So whether it's in Johannesburg, the equivalent of Pick It Up, seeing whether we can get involved as residents in cleaning up those illegal dumping areas to make them clean, cutting down the foliage there, typically where illegal dumping happens, so just to make it a little bit more exposed, making sure the street lighting in the area is working as well by reporting it on the platform and getting it to the municipality. So helping to detract from the need for illegal dumping. Other measures put in place, because sometimes our waste just doesn't get collected, is having community bins that are put out. So this is what we've done in our community, is put bins out, consult with the local pick it up so they know exactly why we put it out, how we're disposing of the waste, and working collaboratively with them to make sure that our community is kept clean. So it's really a lot to do with out-of-the-box thinking. We've had a lot of experience in it that we're happy to share with our community leaders, and thinking creatively and working together with the municipality to solve these problems. Because they actually do want to work with us. They do understand their own resource limitations. So they tell us how we can actually work best with them as well.
Okay, so we need to wrap up. It's almost time for me to say my goodbyes to you, but very quickly, I'm more than certain there are quite a number of these initiatives that are highly successful. And so what long-term shift are we seeing in these particular communities? And if it's working in our little communities, you know, what I'm thinking as you were talking, Najen, is can you imagine if we had leaders in downtown Johannesburg, in the CBD? Can you imagine what a difference we'd see? It truly will be a world-class city, won't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's actually one of the areas that we're active in, is downtown Johannesburg.
Oh, wow.
Through one of the management companies that are working with us. So we're trying to use our structures and our technology to drive smart communities into as many communities as possible. And our vision is to actually roll this out across 10,000 communities across South Africa, where we're supporting these amazing community leaders that are trying to make an impact. We support them in becoming more sustainable, to scale their impact, and to make their communities a better place.
That's where we have to leave it. Very interesting indeed. And people who are interested, just know that it does involve a lot of hard work, but that hard work will pay off, because you will end up being living in a very smart community. Najen Naidoo, wonderful talking to you. Keep up the great work. Until the next time, as always, God bless.
Julie, thank you so much for the opportunity. Take care.
Absolutely. It is exactly 16:30, time for me to wrap up. Thank you indeed for your company. I certainly hope you've enjoyed the interviews as much as I've enjoyed your company. I'll see you tomorrow at the same time. That is, of course, at 3 o'clock on this Inspired Afternoon show with me, Julie Ali. And I have no doubt that you are enjoying all the wonderful new presenters and the presenting style and the topics of discussion. I think that this month here at Salam Media is filled with so much of richness, of talent, of interest, and one can't leave our screens alone because we just want more and more and more of this amazing show that's been put together by management for the month of Ramadan. Alhamdulillah for that. And as I've said, from me till tomorrow, as always, Assalamu alaikum and Khuda Hafiz.